Do you know what happened in my hometown? Hey, guys. We were all super pumped about our school trip to this old abandoned mansion out in the woods. It was like the coolest thing ever, you know? All of us were buzzing with excitement. When we got there, the mansion looked like something straight out of a horror movie. Ivy covered the walls, and the windows were shattered. It was, seriously creepy. But we were all brave and laughed it off, thinking it was just the perfect spooky adventure. Okay, so, as we entered, we saw this weird warning scratched onto the door. It said, "Leave before it's too late." We, chuckled nervously, thinking it was just some prank by the older kids who'd been there before. Once inside, the atmosphere changed, you guys. It got colder, and the air felt heavy. I started feeling this weird chill crawling up my spine. I swear, I heard whispers echoing in the halls, but everyone else just dismissed it. So, we're exploring, right? We find these old, dusty artifacts, like antique dolls and broken mirrors. It was as if the mansion held on to the memories of the past, and it was kind of fascinating and scary at the same time. We split up to cover more ground, and that's when things got really messed up. I turned around, and two of my friends were just gone. Poof. Vanished. We called out, but there was no response. Panic started to set. I found myself in this room with a massive, cracked mirror. My reflection, though, it was distorted. It didn't move with me. I swear, it was grinning at me, and I felt this cold hand on my shoulder. I spun around, but no one was there. While searching for my friends, I heard their voices from different directions, but when I followed the sounds, they just led me in circles. It was like the mansion was playing tricks on us, trapping us in its twisted game. In one room, there were these ancient portraits on the walls. The people in them looked so real, their eyes following us as we moved. I blinked, and I could swear they were smirking. I wanted to run, but I was frozen. Suddenly, a grand old clock in the hallway started ticking louder and faster. It reached midnight, and all the doors slammed shut. We were trapped inside, and I could feel the fear in the air. As we desperately tried to open the doors, shadows moved in the corners of the hallways. They were like shapeless figures, lurking and watching us. I could hear faint whispers, and it felt like the walls were closing in. We found ourselves in this grand ballroom, and there was this ghostly music playing, like an old waltz. I saw the faint outline of people dancing, but they were transparent, like memories from the past replaying over and over. Panic set in as we realized we were part of something we couldn't understand. We tried breaking windows, screaming for help, but it was as if the mansion held us in its clutches, refusing to let go. My friends and I reunited, and we ran through those endless halls. It was like a maze, and we were being chased by these shadowy figures. Every corner we turned, they were there, inching closer. In the attic, we found an old diary that told a tale of tragedy and betrayal. Suddenly, a ghostly figure appeared, screaming in anguish. Its face contorted with pain, and we felt its despair seeping into our soul. The whispers grew louder, almost like a sinister chant. The voices spoke of the mansion's dark history, of a curse that bound all who entered. It felt like the walls themselves were alive with the stories of those who suffered within. We finally stumbled upon what looked like the exit, but as we reached for the doorknob, it faded away. We were trapped, and the mansion seemed to mock our desperate attempts to escape its clutches. Back in that eerie room with the cracked mirror, our reflections grinned at us malevolently. I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized that we were now part of the haunted history of the mansion, doomed to replay our own horrors. As we wandered aimlessly, the clock struck again. This time, it chimed 13 times, and the air turned frigid. We were surrounded by the shadows, the ghostly figures closing in. We huddled together, terrified, as the mansion seemed to devour our very soul. And then, just like that, we woke up outside the mansion, the morning sun breaking through the trees. It was as if the horror never happened. We looked at each other, shaken to the core, wondering if it was all just a nightmare or if we had truly escaped the clutches of that malevolent mansion. For more videos like these, please like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon.